A lot of people in these day and times are desperate for committed relationships, but the biggest problem is they don't want to put in the work. If you're new to my channel, my name is Brent, and I'm back on YouTube providing you all a good, positive video. I hope you all having a good evening. Hope you all able to spend time with your friends or loved ones, and let's get started. But before I begin, if you click on this video and you find it very interesting that this resonates with you, go ahead and like the button. Go ahead and share it to other people that need to watch this video. And also subscribe to my video so that way you can see more in the future. And let's get straight to the point, shall we? Because like I said in the beginning, there are a lot of people out there who are desperate of committed relationships, but don't want to put in the work. And I blame society about this because society has this way where when you're in a relationship, you should only focus on each other. But what they don't tell you is that you got to love yourself and then balance with the relationship that you're currently in. And that is why a lot of people are desperate for committed relationships. See, how can you be so desperate of being in a committed relationship or wanting a committed relationship if you're not committed to yourself? It's more than just saying you love yourself. Staying committed to yourself means the fact that you see yourself as a high valuable man or a high valuable woman. Now, we have a lot of ladies out there, and there's a lot of ladies out there that always post stories talking about how their future husband's gonna do right by them, or one day they're gonna be a good wife to these people. But that's all fine and dandy. But if you're not putting in that work to yourself, that future husband that you so-called wanted, you can kiss that man goodbye because you do not want to put yourself on a pedestal. And a lot of time is, people don't want to be held accountable for the things they did in their past relationship. For example, we know a lot of men would tell certain women, you gotta have discernment, because for some odd reason, the same woman kept getting in relationships that did not work out. And you have a lot of ladies that are like that, unfortunately, to where they get in 3 or 4 relationships, and when it doesn't work out, they end up playing the victim. They don't want to take accountability for their choices. They don't want to sit within themselves and do some major reflecting and come up with strategies how to avoid these situations. No, they don't. What they would do is that they get mad at certain people, especially men, when we tell them, hey, you got to take accountability for the action. They get mad and upset because in their mind, they didn't do nothing wrong. And of course, they were faithful in the committed relationship, but they are held responsible for their grief, their pain, and the negative emotions that they've been holding on for a very, very long time. In order for you all to have a committed relationship, it all starts with you. The greatest relationship you can have is within yourself. But you got to not only have a good relationship with yourself, you got to see yourself as the greatest. In legoddard, the book that he wrote, he's talk about self-concept. And that's the thing right there. A lot of people don't have a good self-concept about themselves. And it's unfortunate that we were not told how to have a good relationship with ourselves, or how to view ourselves as something that's positive. We haven't. The only time we experience self-concept is if we have went through a lot of negative traumas or a negative experience that caused us to feel needy or caused us to feel bitter and upset, and assuming that relationships are a bad thing. That's the only time when we want to experience self-concept. But unfortunately, majority of people are not going to experience self-concept. Why? Because a lot of times people want to numb the pain by using drugs, alcohol, and certain other things just to numb the pain. Instead of facing the pain head on, they want to numb the pain as if it's going to disappear on its own. That is not the case at all, people. That's not the case. You got to want change. You got to see yourself as the greatest man or the greatest woman of all times. Relationships are a beautiful thing. But a problem with that is when people get in relationship with people who don't want to do right, their perception of relationship change. Now you have people saying that, oh, relationships are not bad. Relationships are just not meant to be good. Oh, they're not worthy of a relationship. Guess they're not meant to be in a communication in this lifetime. And I understand why they would say things like that, because, you know, when you're so used to these experiences over and over and over, you play it in your mind and you assume that that's true, that that is the reality, that this whole fantasy of committed relationship does not even exist. And the problem that I see a lot of people, they want to, you know, listen to music that talks about relationships. They watch TV shows and want to talk about relationships. But the problem with that is, especially with TV shows, you don't know what's behind closed doors. People look at celebrities, like, for example, when we talking about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, and years back, before the whole situation took place, we never heard anything negative about them. And I was one of the people like, you know what? Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith have a good relationship. I would like to have that. And then around the 2020, the whole thing with Jada Pinkett Smith messing around with August Alsina, with the whole thing entanglement, that changed our perspective about their relationship. Then you had the whole thing of Will Smith slapping Chris Rock because Chris Rock said G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. Will Smith got on stage, slapped the shit out of Chris Rock, said, hey, keep my wife's name out your mouth. But the purpose of me saying all this is because we can't just compare our relationship to our celebrities. You never know what's behind closed doors. This is why it's very important for you to stay committed to yourself, because you have yourself 24/7. That's all you have. You came on this earth by yourself. And a lot of people need to realize that, is that we didn't came on this earth with our partners. We came on this earth on our own. And a lot of time is, you know, people are afraid of being single. People are afraid of being alone because, you know, I understand that we are wired to, you know, interact with people. But if you want to have a committed relationship, you got to spend some time with yourself. Because spending time with yourself alone can allow you to get to know yourself, knowing your likes, knowing your dislike, knowing what you would tolerate, knowing things you would not tolerate. This is not, I won't say this path is hard or easy. It takes a lot of commitment. And that's the thing right there. Because see, how are you going to talk about you want to be in a committed relationship when you don't know how to maintain certain things? Like, for example, if you live in a house, an apartment, in order for you to maintain the house and apartment, you got to pay rent, got to pay the mortgage every month. And in order to keep your lights on, you got to pay that electrical bill every month. If you don't want no bugs or rodents in your house or your apartment, what do? You clean it. That's how you keep them out of your place, by staying commitment of cleaning up. And I know a lot of times people say, well, it's too much or too much this, but you said you want a committed relationship. So now you're saying the fact that you don't want that because you don't want to put in the work. And I'm not going to sit here and say hard work. We're going to sit and say it's consistent work. Because a lot of you all don't want to remain consistent. And then not only that, though, you don't remain consistent towards yourself. So you got to love yourself. You got to see yourself like you're the best man, the best woman in the world. I'll give a good primary example. Like the time when I was single, like early 2017, I told myself that any woman that's in a relationship with me would be the luckiest woman of all times. Oh, yeah. I said that because I know that I can handle committed relationships. I knew that I had the potential of being in a healthy committed relationship. So not only did I said that, I took care of my health. I started to figure out things that I like. And I started to focus on my hobbies. But more importantly, I found a way to get rid of that negative emotion that I dealt with when I was rejected. And it's okay though. You know, a lot of time is, you know, people been cheated on. people been, rejected. And it hurts, it really hurts because it's like, damn, like I could say, for example, if you've been cheated on, you think that that person that cheated on you was like the best partner you ever had. And all of a sudden it just didn't work out that way. For my fellas out there, y'all can relate to this. We find a girl that we like and we rub up the courage and tell her how we feel. And next thing you know, she rejected us and we feel bad. The only good thing about that situation is that, hey, that bubbly feeling that you had disappears. And another second thing is that you might be dodging bullets because, let's be honest, most girls that reject men are not really good women. They say they're good women, but in reality, they're really not. They sit here and play the victim mentality over and over and over, which is another reason why a lot of people won't have a hard time being in committed relationships because they have to do some time travel mentally and have to retrace their steps and fix all the issues within themselves. But people don't want to do all that because they are afraid. They're afraid of themselves. We all have skeletons in our closet. But if you muffle up the courage and take all the skeletons out your closet, your chances of finding a committed relationship or getting in a committed relationship will be a lot easier. But unfortunately, we live in the times where people don't want to be held accountable. People don't want to stay commitment. People say it's too much. Self-discipline is out the window. People don't want to be faithful. And unfortunately, it is what it is. But you can't sit here and say that you are desperate of a committed relationship if you don't want to put in that work. I understand that people are scared of marriage and everything, especially like when you gotta, go do legal work and gotta get a marriage license, which is dumb as hell because why need a marriage license when it's all based on you and your partner having no interference, no third party interference at all, period. But that's a whole completely different story and everything. But I just want to let y'all know that if you're desperate for a committed relationship, stop. The best relationship you can have within yourself. Start committing yourself. Start committing yourself to where you know that you're worthy of a committed relationship. Stop going on social media, listen to all them dating gurus telling you what you want to hear. Because if they not give you advice how to become your better version of yourself or how to heal from your pains and everything, they're not meant for you. Because people who make videos about dating will want the best for you all. Not just have you not have you stuck. Listen to some feel-good stuff so that way they can have you build up their likes and views. So no, stop listening to them. But that's all I had to say though, y'all. Again though, if you find this video very interesting, hit the like button. Liking this video will help out the algorithm. Share and comment too and let me know if this resonate with you. Because, if it does, that means I did a good job. And also, subscribe to the channel. So that way, if you want to see more videos of me in the future, click that subscribe button. It don't cost you nothing. It don't cost you a penny. But all right, though, this is your guy, Brent. I'm out. Peace.